Well, we've taken a few deep breaths, I guess, and now just a few closing thoughts, really. And I'm going to read you a little bit that I wrote out, and I felt quite... I was chatting to my daughter, actually, about this, and we just felt it was necessary to add a little bit so that we're thinking in a broader sense than just prophecy and knowing about things. And here we go. As we come near to the end of these two great books, I want to remind us of some thoughts that we shared when we first embarked on these studies. We realized that over and above the knowledge of future events and possibly some challenging experiences that would test our stamina and courage as followers of Christ, there was something that we saw in the Apostle John and the prophet Daniel that was more important than anything else. And that is our love and commitment to God and his great love for us and obviously for Daniel and John. And the thoughts are beautifully summarized in 1 Corinthians 13, such a famous chapter. I'm not going to read all of it, just a section of it, which to me seems to be an ideal thought to throw in at this point. Here we go then. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror darkly, dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now, faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love. Well, the Apostle Paul knows how to put it so beautifully, so compellingly, what the really important things are. And in a way that helps me. And I go back now to why these two books? What, if somebody said to me, why did you choose these two books? Why do they mean so much to you? And I suppose, it's the Bible means a lot to me, all of it, to be honest. And I think if we select bits that suit us and then reject parts that don't really suit us or are too complicated or we just don't feel like tackling, then maybe there's something missing, something wrong. And if you remember, we right at the beginning when we were doing chapter 1 of Revelation ages ago, I pointed out that one of the verses said, even if you just read the words of the book, Revelation, to a few, perhaps a few of you in a group, some of your family, read it out loud, you will receive a blessing. It's an amazing thought, isn't it? So what we've done is we have brought a blessing down on us because we've done this. And it's a blessing which is, I hope, I really do hope with all my heart, has added something to your life and my life, certainly added something to my life. And it was a relief reading that little spiel that I wrote down, you know, about, well, when we quoted this verse from 1 Corinthians 13, that there's a day coming when none of this will matter. None of what we've been talking about the prophetic bits will matter. It could all be over and we'll be in the real new heaven and new earth. But while those two books are there, what a privilege to realise that our Lord Jesus Christ wanted us to read them. He urged us to read them. And the more he looked into the future and saw what is still to come to us, the more he felt we would benefit by reading them. Now, that doesn't apply to everyone, so that's why perhaps a few of us who have read them will be able to talk to people that are frightened. People are already frightened in what's going on in our world. We all are to some extent, but some of us know that, don't worry, this is part of the last days. But if we can help people around us, both our fellow church members and people in the street, people in the bus, how wonderful a privilege that we can share what we've got in our hearts. We know that that God has got a wonderful answer to all this. A world full of righteousness, goodness and beauty, which is going to go on forever to those that accept him as their Lord. So maybe that's my parting thought with you, that you and I can be some help to somebody, even if it's one person, you can change their life and bring them from weariness or unbelief or sadness to a feeling of serenity and contentment in the knowledge that God has it all in hand and our Lord Jesus is going to reign forever. Thank you so much for bearing with me all this time. And God bless you as you pursue in your life these things for yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye.